Welcome to the Heart of the Volunteer. I'm your host, Paul Cummings. I've been thinking a lot lately about what actually keeps people in this. Not what gets them in the door, but what keeps them showing up years later. Because if you're listening to this and you've been around the fire service for any amount of time, you know it's not always convenient. It doesn't always fit neatly into your schedule. It doesn't wait for the right moment. It shows up when you're already tired, when you've got a full plate, when life is already asking something from you, and yet there are still people who get up and go anyway. This conversation with Kenton Holbrook really made me stop and think about that. Not because of anything dramatic, but because of how clear he was about it. There was no hesitation, no searching for the right answer. When I asked him why he does this, he didn't talk about the job. He didn't talk about the excitement. He didn't even try to dress it up. He just said, it's a calling. And you can hear that in the way he lives. This isn't a guy with extra time on his hands. This isn't someone waiting around for something to do. He's got a full life. God, family, work, responsibility in every direction. And yet, when he's needed, he goes. Not because it's easy, not because it's expected, but because somewhere along the line, that became part of who he is. And I think that's where this conversation really hits, because there's a difference between helping when it's convenient and living in a way where you're ready when it's not. You're also going to hear part of Kenton's story that, I'll be honest, I didn't see coming. And I'm not going to try to set it up too much. But there are moments in this conversation where you realize this isn't just about service. It's about perspective. It's about what people carry with them and yet still find a way to give something to someone else. And if you're someone on the outside looking in, if you've ever thought about joining, or even just wondered what kind of person actually sticks with this is one of those conversations that'll give you a real answer. Not a perfect one, not a polished one, but a real one. Because at the end of the day, the fire service isn't built on big moments. It's built on people who make a decision over and over again to show up when it would just be easier not to. Kenton is one of those people. Most people say they do it to help people, but for some, it runs a lot deeper than that. So let's get into it. All right, welcome to the Heart of the Volunteer. I'm your host, Paul Cummings, and tonight I'm joined by Kenton Holbrook from Nicholas County Fire out in Carlisle, Kentucky. Kenton, I appreciate you taking the time today. So I kind of want to jump right into it. I really want to get past the surface. Everybody says I do it for the people, right? We all say that. That's our number one reason. But the whole point of this podcast is really get underneath that. What are the core reasons you're wearing that shirt and that hat? I'm assuming sitting in a firehouse maybe or close by?
I'm actually at home. I'm only 2 miles from the station, so yeah.
Amen. All right. So let's jump right into this. All right. I want to find out a little bit about you. So outside the fire department, okay, where'd you grow up? What led you to where you are today?
So this town, this community, I've never left. I'll be 37 in July. I was born and raised right here in Nicholas County. Outside the firehouse, I worked Toyota as a maintenance guy full-time. I pastored 2 churches full-time. And then me and my wife, we raise and breed and sell registered quarter horses.
Oh.
And so
your table's pretty full.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So as at the firehouse, I'm an assistant chief and also deputy emergency management director in the county. So yeah, I wear several hats.
Good for you.
But
and that's the theme of a lot of volunteers, right? Like it seems to be at the core of it, right?
Yeah, every one of our guys are in, they're busy, so but yeah, that's kind of who I am outside here, the fire department. They're how I got into the fire service. So I have my dad was a fire board member.
Okay.
When I was a kid, we are a Chapter 75 taxing district. That's how we run our fire service.
Okay.
in the community. So my dad was a elected board member for several years, as as I was a child. And so I would go to the firehouse, on board meeting nights and that kind of stuff. And then my dad's next brother, the one right underneath him, he's been in Jefferson County Fire, which is Louisville, but he's actually a county fireman in Jefferson County for 40 years.
Okay.
So, and then I have a good friend of mine that actually retired from, he was a chief of Bahama, North Carolina Fire Department, and he moved up here, but we've been friends for 25, 26 years, and he had 43 years in the service. So, and then when we go to North Carolina, I run fire calls with him, and then I knew a lot of the people in our community that was on the fire department here on and off for some time. So just being around that is kind of what interested me into the fire service.
Yep.
I'll say you asked what my underlying, why do I do it?
Yep.
That's so easy for me to answer. And it's not cliche one bit. Yep. Because I believe to really love the fire service and be a fireman, it's a calling.
True.
So
absolutely,
I think this is one of the things that God called me to do.
Yep.
And it's a way I serve my community. It's a very needed thing in this community. John 15:13, he says, "For greater love had no man than he laid down his life for his brother." Amen. God created us to serve.
Yep.
And this is, to me, one of my forms of service to my community.
Amen, brother. I mean, you literally just took off like the 3 top questions that I was going to ask you. I love it. And I love that your history in the fire service goes way back. It's similar to mine. I don't remember much before the fire service entered my life with my dad. And from those early moments, it was just, and I'm sure the same was with you, I knew at 6 or 7 years old, man, that this was what I was going to do. Go back to 1989, 1990, I knew. It was just a matter of waiting now until I was old enough. And the very second that I could, I was in. And you said it was a calling, it's a pull, and that's what this podcast is about, the heart of the volunteer, and I don't know how much of my story, but I've been in the fire service 25 years and took a unique spin, with a song and a tour and got to travel the country and meet a lot of firefighters. And it was clear to me what the core of the volunteer was, and everything that you just said and everything that you just stand for, Kenton, is, I wish I could just write that out. There it is. All right. I'm glad we did this interview. That was fun.
Yeah.
So no, I don't want to.
The first time I ever seen you, Paul, I got on the fire service. This is 14 years for me. Okay. So in 2012, I started May of 2012. Started training. The board voted me on in August of 2012. But I trained for end of May, June, July with them, and then they, But a young man was like my little brother. Him and my little brother, same age. He was actually, I accepted my call to preach May the 12th, 2014. He was on the fire department with us. July the 19th of 2014, him and 2 other young ladies died in a violent car wreck. And the first time I ever seen you is your song. I shared that song with him, in memory of him right after he had passed.
Yeah.
So that's where, I've kind of followed you.
Thank you.
Through my whole career on and off. And then I seen the video you posted on TikTok, and I was like, man, I would love to be a part of that. So
awesome. Well, I appreciate that, man. It's we could go on and on about that song and what it's meant for me. That was I can go back. That song was meant for me. It was to heal me. And to see it even all these years later, Kenton, doing that for other people, it, whole nother side of it, right? It's amazing. Right. But look, this interview is about you. I want to know about you because I want to figure out, who you are and what we can do maybe to help. And I want to find more about the district too. But I still want to hang back to when you got in. When you first got in, maybe your first call, okay? What surprised you the most?
So when I first got on, so my community went through a little rough patch at our fire station.
Okay.
Pretty much all the firemen in the community quit.
How many years ago was this?
This was right after. So my chief that took over in end of March, 1st of April of 2012. Okay. He literally has built the fire department
from the ground up.
Yeah.
Oof.
So.
And what's his name? What's his name? We'll give him a shout out.
Doug French, Chief Doug French.
All right.
Yeah. So he's Fire Chief Nicholas County, and also he's Fire Chief of Clark County Fire, which is a paid department here in Kentucky as well.
Okay. Yep.
But so he took the fire department with a bunch of young guys. Like at that time, I was 23 years old. A bunch of young guys, and started from scratch. And I'll say that. So the first call I ever got when I was asleep, the first time the tones dropped, I literally jumped straight out of bed to the floor on my feet, hard at 100 and probably 180 beats a minute, about to explode out of my chest. Like, oh my gosh, what I do? Where'd I go? Just the adrenaline, of like, and then I've.
Hey, Kenton, yes, hold on a second.
Oh, you're fine.
I'm sorry. I didn't think we were recording for a minute. I'm like, oh my God. All right. Sorry about that. Keep going.
You're right. So, I think the initial was the adrenaline, like I think a lot of it is. And then when you actually go and you actually do something good, whether you get told or not, but you've been in the service long enough, it don't matter if somebody thinks you or not. When you've done a good job, when you put out effort, when your heart's in it.
Yes.
So
yes.
All that come really fast for me, truly. Yep. So it's just, I love the fire service. I really do.
I appreciate that so much. Like, and I can feel your energy. I can feel it. I can feel it through the camera, man. It is. It's the passion, and it's guys like you we need more of, right? Like it's really refreshing to hear you talk about your love for the fire service. And like I said, I come up with a list of questions for you, and it's amazing how you're kind of following along. And I think, again, the core of the volunteer, man, at the core of it, there's a group of people in this country that's much larger than what's in the volunteer service, right? Like, I'm even talking about all these volunteer coaches, man, people that just feel the drive to give, right? And maybe this isn't for them, but I know that there's millions more out there right now that are like you and like me and like the millions others that feel this way, and they don't know what to do. So I want to take some of that passion right now, and I kind of want to steer it towards the whole bridging the gap to the community. So do you feel like volunteering, and maybe this is something you answer, but I want you to really think about it. Do you feel like being a volunteer is something you do, or it's something you are?
I think it's something you are.
Okay.
I think it's a mindset. It's a mindset of wanting to not own it. So I think one of the, we'll probably get into this, but I think one of the reasons that we struggle with volunteers, not just in the fire service, I'm also on the water board.
Okay.
So I volunteer for our water district too. So, I do a lot of things.
Absolutely.
But we live in a life or a time where everybody is told to center everything around themselves.
100%.
It's all about me. So to me, when I think of a volunteer, it's not something of what you do, it's who you are, because you have to have that heart. You have to have the one. I don't care if it's a little league ball coach, if it's running a nursery at your church, anything you do that you're not getting monetary gain over.
Yep.
Has to be because you want to help somebody else.
Yep.
Now, the world says, the TV, the secular world of everything says, it's all about me.
Absolutely.
And I understand that, because I was 20 years old before I ever went to church.
Kenton, like, I'm gonna tell you something. So not to interrupt you, my whole journey, going back to the firefighter song, you know what the number one crutch I had about the whole thing was? Yeah, guess what I hated about it the most?
It's about you.
It was, I hated using my name, and you can ask my manager, you can ask everybody, it drove them nuts. I ended up calling it the American Firehouse, right? Because I didn't want the attention. It was never about Paul Cummings. It was about the volunteer fire service, and even broader than that, the fire service in general. We're all come from the same cloth.
Yeah.
And it's the same way that a lot of guys feel. I run social media for our firehouse. It's the same way when I pull up a camera, 3 or 4 of them, what do? They scurry away. They want nothing to do with the attention of it. They just want to be there. Right? Like it's incredible.
My chief is bad about that. He wants to take no recognition, and
most are like, right.
And like I told him, I said, and it's a humble thing, is what it is, and I understand it. Yeah. But it comes, so at our we do a big like Christmas dinner with all the fire department, the firemen, their families, all our elected officials. The fire department, they pay for a meal, and like I said, a ship gets nowhere without its captain. A firehouse gets nowhere without its chief. Yep. You show me a bad firehouse, I'll show you bad leadership. Yep. You show me a good firehouse, it's because it starts at the top. Absolutely. And that's that's how we're designed. God designed us in a structure system. Yep. And so and out of humility, I understand, but on the other side is it's okay to take some credit. Yeah.
Take a little pride in it too. Yeah.
That's right. For hey, I don't want anybody to look at me, but I'm thankful that God put me here for this moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
when you look at it, and absolutely, you can kind of make peace with it at that. But at the root of it, still, get up in the middle of the night, I'm just going to go do a job, and I just want to come home and slip back into bed and just go about my day, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so there's nights when the pager goes off. Speaking of in the middle of the night, you're tired, life's going on around you. So tell me a little bit about life right now. Married, kids?
So I'm married.
Okay.
We've been together. We'll be married 11 years this year. Been together for 12.
Congratulations.
We have 6 kids in heaven.
Holy.
None on the earth.
6 in heaven.
Yeah. The longest my wife's been pregnant is about 11 weeks. Every time before, it's been between 5 and 11 weeks that we have miscarried 6 times.
Oh, wow.
But my life is like right now, my wife took my little brother's kids. 2 of the 3 are gone to a ball practice. She's doing taking ball practice for them. My little brother and his wife are with the oldest at a father-daughter dance. We have 2 other nieces and another nephew of my wife's sisters. So we've got 6, kids that we're really close with. And, I always say I may not ever get to hold one of my children on this earth, but I'll hold them forever in heaven.
You're an amazing human being, man. I never anticipated, you never know what you're getting into. My heart goes out to you, man. I have 3 kids, and thinking about what you had to go through, I don't know, man. And you still get up. You still get up, and that's kind of where I'm going with this. Like, so after all that, Kenton, what makes you continue to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning when the pager goes off?
The need.
Beautiful.
If I don't, who will?
Yep. Well, what's the conversation in your head in the moment? Like, it goes off, like, what happens? Is there any conversation? Is it instinct?
Instinct.
Yep.
I'll tell you this. I'll be honest with you. So so from my time as a fireman to now assistant chief, so really my brain really does work a lot. I'm a young guy. I'm only 36. I'll be 37 in July.
Yep.
I've got 14 years in the service, but learning how to harness that, all right, and the kind of control the chaos, I can remember, like I said, my first call, like I said, I didn't know what was going on, nothing, we've got a recording that we could call back and listen to what the call was on our phones. And, but I'll tell you, it's instinct. 3 weeks ago, we were in Lexington at the horse park at an event called Road to the Horse, and we always go up there and camp. It's a 4-day event. We were, not to get into that, but we were in the middle of the night. My phone goes off, so we've got an app, sets the tone off on my phone, just like on my radio. So tone goes off. I throw the covers off the bed, while we're in the horse trailer, and I'm headed out of the bed in the horse trailer, and Kimber's like, "Where are you going?"
Yes.
I said, well, I was going to that fire call, but she's like, "We're in Lexington." I was like, "Yeah, I realize that now." And she's just dying laughing. But just out of natural instinct, it's like, "Hey, it's time to go."
last summer we were down at camp, and in the middle of the night, I got up, I sat up, and I'm like, where am I? Because it was that like I gotta go, but I didn't recognize the surroundings. And
Yep.
then you feel, I don't know, for me, I felt the guilt, like, oh, I want to still go.
Yeah.
You know, I can be at camp and still 2:30 in the morning, I'll wake up and make sure we got a crew responding, right? Because you can see everybody's name, and then you get to a point with 4 or 5 names, 6 names. Oh, thank God, you know.
Yeah.
Because you know, and we'll get into that part of it. I want to know a little bit more about the fire department, and actually, with our limited amount of time, you know, maybe we should get into that. So, tell me about the volunteer situation in your fire department. Tell me a little bit about the size of the district, how many calls you run, kind of the quick fire details.
So we cover 196 square miles. We cover the whole county.
Okay, so how many stations with that?
3 stations.
Okay, that's still a big territory.
Yeah, we just put our 3rd station online last year. Okay. My first probably 8 years in the service, 7 years in the service, we run out of 1 station.
All volunteer.
All volunteers.
Okay.
So we have a city fire department as well, which there's only about 1,900 residents in the city.
Okay.
The other 6,500 are in the county.
Okay.
And but the city's all volunteer too. There is no paid fire department, nobody full time.
So 4 fire departments total. Okay.
Yes. Okay. And but we run, you know, we pretty much run county calls only. We will run mutual aid on like large buildings, whatever in town. But in the outlying counties or areas, our counties, we've got some counties that touch us that we run mutual aid with, or they'll run with us as well. So we have 20 firemen, and I will tell you
total.
Yes.
In the 3 stations, 20.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, we got a bunch of.
How many residents?
About a little over 6,000 in the county.
Okay, all right. So continue. I mean, I'm just trying to get a picture in my head of what you.
Yeah, we're royal. We're a rural community. We tank most of our water. You know,
tell me about the makeup of those 20 people and what they do.
We have got people from construction workers to veterinarians.
Okay, so stop there. What happens at 10 o'clock in the morning? And I'm in Carlisle County.
Nicholas County.
I'm sorry.
Carlisle City.
I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. So I wrecked my car. What happens? Walk me through.
So at that point, you're going to get, you know, they'll knock us out. You're going to get, I'm here during the day because I work 3rd shift. Okay. So I'm here during the day. So you're going to get me. And then we've got guys that work for themselves.
Yep.
We've got, you know, guys that are contractors that work in town.
How many do you get then?
Oh, we're going to average 13 to 15 people a call.
Okay, so even with a small amount of people in a big territory, you're still maximized 75% of the rosters showing up for the call.
Yes.
24 pretty much around the clock.
24/7. Very seldom.
Okay, I mean,
yeah, there's a time.
But still, so what happens then? You know, I'm just again trying to get a picture because. To me, you're right. I'm in a rural area, but I'm in upstate New York, in a much smaller area. Okay, so structure fire happens. Where's your mutual aid coming from? Because 13 to 15 people at a working fire, you know, I'm sure you guys get beat up for a while before help comes.
Yeah, and it really depends on the area of the county.
Okay,
you know, because every area of the county we touch a different county that's got so. You know, we're running mutual aid with just different departments. So, but there's not a county around us that won't run with us if we need them. You know.
So, what's the closest mutual aid situation look like?
So if
generally speaking.
Okay, so if we're on the kind of the north, or I guess the southeastern end of our county.
Yep.
We have all the way around to like the southwestern end. There's anywhere from in Fleming County that borders us and Bath County, both of them departments are probably, well, in some areas of ours, if they get toned out at the same time, they'll beat us there.
Okay, yeah, I mean that makes sense.
So you know they're at a point where sometimes they're closer than we are, but I would say on a window.
And you're still trucking water, you said.
Yeah, 7 to 10 minutes. You know, for most mutual aid, we're going to have somebody, you know, we may not get their whole department, but we're at least going to get an engine or a tanker.
Tell me then what your ideal number would be. If you guys could win the lottery and, the people lottery, the volunteer lottery, right? And you could pull all these people, like, what would your dream number be? Like to run everything totally effective the way, how many calls you run a year?
We're running about 100 and around 200 a year, but now we run no medicals.
No EMS. Yeah. Okay. So 200 fire calls.
Everything we run is structure fire, grass fire.
Do you get a lot of wildland fire, grass fire type
we
stuff?
do in the fall.
It's dry.
We may run 15, 20 a month, and maybe 25 in August, September, October.
So like I said, if you had to pull out of a hat, like how many people, like if you add to the roster, dedicated, committed people, like what would that, how many would make a huge difference? One, besides one.
If I could pick, like, say, bam, I just want this many people. If we added 7 to 10 people, say put us up at 30. I would be,
we'd be in a good situation, like a great, great situation. So was it ever that strong? Have you guys seen any decline, say, over the last 20, 30 years?
We're 20, 25, but I'll tell you, and I'm not tooting our own horn. This is not me brag.
Yeah, no.
But our standards are very high. I'll tell you right now, if we said, hey, here's a t-shirt, here's a radio, you show up when you want to, or you don't, but you can be on the fire department, we'd have 100 people.
Run 100%.
And no problem. But, look, my chief has been a career guy his whole life. For the past 30 some years, he's been in a career. We've got several people that are career firefighters on our department. I worked career for a time in my life. And so the standard is, we put 5 guys on last fall. And I'm also one of our instructors. So I started out, that's what I did first, is I went as a fireman. I went and got my, all my FSAC certifications, my instructors. Then I got promoted to lieutenant. I was lieutenant for several years and got assistant chief last May.
Congratulations, by the way, coming up on a year. Good for you.
So last September we started recruit class, and I just flat told the guys, and we hit them 2 nights a week and every other Saturday for all the way to Christmas. And I said,
two nights per week.
Yes. So we were every Monday, every Thursday, at least 3 to 4 hours.
Majority turnout.
Oh yeah. So I didn't let, as far as recruits, they were like, it was either you do this or you're done. Yeah, you're not getting. And because what we were doing is we were trying to slow walk people. And then what they did is when we really needed to push them,
they fizzled.
They were like, this is too much. So I'm like, me and Chief talked, and I was like, hey, I want to hit them full course, head on. It won't always be
honest
this.
About it. Just right up front.
But it may not always be like this, but it absolutely could be. So, and we worked them hard, and you know what? We ain't had one leave yet.
Well, I mean, again, it comes down to culture, right? So we at Virgin here, and again, we got about a couple minutes left, and I got one more question for you, but I want to tell you the story. So 7 years ago, I was really active, first part of my career, slowed up when kids were born and stuff. And then 7 years ago, got really active. Came back to a fire department that wasn't in bad shape, but as far as training schedules, it was loose. And we were averaging maybe 8 people a night. And I think we all came to the table, sat down and said, we have 45 members and 8 of them are showing up. So something's amiss. Is it us? Is it them? Maybe a combination of both. And through some honest conversations, over the course of the next couple of years, we've averaged 30 people. And, trying to get as much repetitions on the equipment as possible, going from your SUVs into a fire truck, taking the reps on the fire truck. We might only pump 3-4 times a year at a fire. So maybe go out and pump once in a while, just so you can remember the steps, and it's like breathing, keeping that standard high, but keeping the culture strong. And you said it at the beginning of the interview, it starts at the top, right? Getting the right people involved in training. And I always say, when I took over as captain and training officer, I always said, I want to put the best instructor in front of the room. And it's not always me.
That's right.
I'm the guy that's coordinating it. Some subjects I'm very good in. Other subjects, there's guys in my fire department that could run circles around me and they just know it better, right? And that's who needs to be teaching this class, as long as they do it with respect, because we've got to respect the time that people spend, right? It's the most valuable thing we have in our possession, and we're running out of it. So yeah, so hey, so while we got like a couple more minutes, if somebody's listening right now and they're from your area, because I'm hoping maybe you got a couple of you guys share this, and what do you want to tell them? They want to join, they want to give back to their community. They've got a couple kids, they're mid-stage of their life. Hey, it's me, Kenton. I'm a past firefighter in New York. I walk in the door. You got 2 minutes to tell me what this is and why I should do it.
So I would say, if you want to find something that gives you drive, purpose, and reward you in ways that you can never imagine, and then also create a bond with guys that you don't know, that their walks of life are totally different from yours, but you can come together as a common core group and do something extraordinary. This place is for you, but it's going to take hard work, dedication, and love and passion. That's because I think that's where I come from.
Yep.
And I think we speak in what we know.
And when you're in trouble, that's who you want showing up. Right?
Yep.
If I'm in a car, if I'm in a burning building, that's who I want showing up, is that dedicated, passionate, caring person, which it sounds like we have a whole bunch of them down there in Carlisle. So
we are super, super blessed. I'm so proud of them guys. I mean, the work they put in, I mean, it's day in, day out. There's not a time, you can text out, like, we got a group chat, all of us are in it. You text out, hey, I need this done. And then you got this guy and this guy and this guy volunteering. Hey, I'll do it. If you can, I can, And man, we would be nothing without them. But I'll tell you, I'll take my 20 guys. They're a bunch of young. We're very blessed. Got a bunch of early 20s. I mean, hard-working guys. I take them, put them against the crew. They're dedicated. They'll work hard. I
can hear it in your voice, man. I can hear the pride in your voice. Like I probably say, as we walk down the journey of this podcast, man, I'm probably going to say this 150 times, but my guys and my gals, because we've got a lot of amazing women in our fire department now. They are some of the closest family I have, more than some of my blood family that's out there. And I know that they probably get pissed every time I say that, but it's true. I put it out there that the people that I call family are the ones that are going to show up for me at my darkest and my worst times and pick me back up. And there's 45 people here. Maybe I've pissed a few of them off this year, but there 30 people down there that would pick up the phone, right? And I think that's what I tell people, man. You want something like that in your life, especially. You can't describe it until you join it. You don't know this group now, but I promise you put the hard work in, you put some dedication in, the rewards on the other side are just overwhelming. And Kenton, I tell you what, I absolutely love talking to you. I want to do this again. Maybe we'll do this in another month or two after we get everything on the air. Check in.
Anytime.
We'll talk some stories next time. We'll get into some of the good stuff that because again, that's what makes you ultimately the firefighter you're becoming. So, Kenton, but we got to go. I truly appreciate anything you want to say.
I would like to say one more thing.
Sure.
Let me see if I can put this in words. I'm sorry, but there's nothing like. And for somebody, if you're a fireman and you're thinking about joining the fire department, or you're an old guy and you've kind of lost your love, think about the people who poured into you. Because there's nothing in life like pouring yourself into somebody and watching that person go on. Who cares if they do greater things than you do or whatever? But to see God use us to develop somebody else is amazing.
Kenton, we need 50,000 more of you, my friend. Absolutely a pleasure talking to you, and I look forward to continuing this conversation, man. So
hey, anytime.
The camera fist pump here,
see you, brother.
All right, brother. Looking forward to talking to you again, man. I really appreciate your time today.
Hey, Paul. Anytime. Thank you.
All right, thank you, buddy. There's a lot you can take from that conversation. You can focus on the structure, the way their department operates, the numbers, the challenges, all of that matters. But that's not what sticks with me. What sticks with me is the way Kenton talks about showing up. There's no internal debate. There's no, let me see how I feel. There's no waiting for the right set of circumstances. It's just part of him. And I think that's something worth sitting with for a minute, because we spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to get more people involved in the fire service. We talk about recruitment strategies, incentives, schedules, messaging, all important. But at the core of it, this doesn't work unless people feel something, unless something in them says, this matters enough for me to go. And you can hear that in Kent, not in a loud way, not in a rehearsed way, just in a steady, consistent, this is who I am. And what really hit me, and I didn't expect this going in, was the perspective he carries with him, the reality of his life outside the firehouse, the things he and his wife have been through. A lot of people would step back. A lot of people would say, I've got enough on my plate. And nobody would question that. But instead, he leans in and he tells you everything you need to know. Because this isn't about having time. It's about making a decision on what matters. And that's where I think this conversation connects beyond the fire service. There are people listening to this right now who aren't firefighters. You might be on the outside looking in. Maybe you've thought about it. Maybe you haven't. But you're hearing the same thing I am. This isn't about being perfect. It's not about having all the answers. It's not about knowing exactly what you're doing from day one. It's about being willing to step into something bigger than yourself and figuring it out as you go. And yeah, that takes effort. It takes time. It takes commitment. It takes a level of buy-in that, frankly, not everybody is ready for. But if you're wired in that way, if something in you listens to this and says, that makes sense, then maybe it's worth paying attention to. Because like Kenton said, this isn't just something you do. For the people who stick with it, it becomes part of who you are. And for those of you already in it, maybe this is just a reminder of why you started, a reminder of the people who poured into you, a reminder of what it means to keep showing up, even when it gets hard. Because the truth is, this only works if people keep choosing it. Not once, but over and over again. After listening to Kenton, I think it's pretty clear there are still people out there making that choice. And if this conversation resonated with you at all, share it with someone. Whether it's someone in your department, someone who used to be, or someone who's never even thought about it before, because these stories only matter if people hear them. And I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen. This is the heart of the volunteer.